Hi, welcome to Media Bite. I'm sure many of you have your opinions about the title of this video. What is the greatest movie twist of all time? How could you really pick one? To be honest, I am not sure, but I am going to try to figure out what some of the greatest twists are, not necessarily the best twist of all time. And with that, let's get started. I will warn you, every film will have their twist spoiled, so if you don't know the twist of a certain movie, check the description for the chapters and skip ahead to the next film. Thank you. I think The Usual Suspects is probably the movie that has one of the most well-known twists of all time, especially when you think about how much the movie has affected pop culture. If you don't know how The Usual Suspects ends, throughout the entire movie they are interviewing a man who's going to tell them about the story of another man named Keyser Söze. Söze is a criminal mastermind who the police are looking for. We find out a lot about him throughout the film. We also find out that the man the police are interviewing is not actually a low-life nothing criminal, but actually Keyser Söze himself. He was creating a lie by making things up to answer the police's questions as they went along. This is probably the most well-known twist of all time, but the other two twists I have for you are just as well-known, if not more so. If you've never seen Fight Club, it's about this underground fighting club that basically sets itself up to be a fight club. We follow an unnamed man simply called the Narrator as he struggles with insomnia and where that ends up. He meets a man named Tyler who the narrator meets on a flight. This is the type of guy you absolutely don't want to meet as a general thing, but definitely not on a flight, as we learn that he's a part of a group called Project Mayhem. Project Mayhem wants to blow up credit card companies' headquarters to get rid of people's debts. The thing about this, though, is that we eventually learn that simply Tyler does not exist. Tyler is a split personality of the narrator and has never existed. This twist was very out of nowhere, and nobody who hadn't read the book this movie was based on had any clue that this was where this was going to end up. You can kind of tell that this is where the movie is going to go if you've already seen the movie or you kind of know where the twist is going, but otherwise it's kind of hard to know what the twist is going to be. I think this is probably the best known in today's pop culture as the biggest plot twist of all time. I'm sure there are plenty of others, but in terms of what this movie really does for culture even to today, is unmatched. We see in the beginning of the movie a child psychologist is attacked in bed and shot. This man is played by Bruce Willis. He survives and takes on a new client. This client believes that he can see the dead. We eventually figure out, however, that Bruce Willis did in fact not survive the beginning of the movie, and the dead people that the child was seeing was in fact Bruce Willis. This twist was so popular and so well known, primarily because this movie made bank at the box office, becoming the second highest grossing film of 1999, just behind The Phantom Menace. This film will still be parodied, referenced, I believe, for decades to come. I'm sure there's very many twists that you could consider, such as, Star Wars, or anything like that. However, I didn't want to include those because I wanted to kind of include movies that are based and known only for their twists. Well, that's it. If you want to keep up to date with all things film, you can follow us on Threads and Instagram at MediaBite Company. Twitter is at MediaBiteCo. TikTok is also at MediaBiteCo. Check out our podcast. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Peace.